Mhm.
What are your top 5 off events right now? And what would you say is what's your top 5? Like if you had to do a draft of non-official events, like where does the 300 meters rank?
Okay,
Like what's
great
your number one
question.
pick?
Okay, are you saying indoors or outdoors?
Off
Both?
event,
Road? Any
both,
off event? And by
anything.
favorite, do you mean favorite in a serious way or favorite in, oh, this is the most ridiculous thing?
However you however you contemplate the word favorite, that's
Okay.
how I want you to do it.
So when I think off events, I think indoors because it's more likely to get some strange events because people are experimenting with things. 600 would be my number one pick because it seems like the 600 collegiate record, American record, or whatever is always getting broken every single year. And then you look at the all time list, and you're like, oh, that person. I remember that. That was crazy. Also, 3 laps indoors, nice, neat, easy to remember. It's kind of fun. I think the 400 is too short indoors because there's too much banging around, but the 600 is perfect. So I'd say 600 number one. Hey, see here we have video of this world record right here. Kaz Loxam. See, I don't even know. Did Kaz Loxam get it or Isaiah Harris? I mean, I'm sure at one point they both had it. If you went to Penn State, you had a 600-meter world record. That's just the rule. That would be my number one. Uh, then I would probably go 1,000. Then I would go to the shorter stuff, 300, and then I would go 500. The 500 is always funny because they always do the thing, can they break 60 seconds? And they do it at Milrose or they do it at one of the other pro meets. And I guess because it's near a round number, that one's kind of fun. I guess that was Kaz Loxam breaking that record in that meet,
So I'm
114.94.
gonna zag. I'm gonna zag,
Yeah?
and I like it. I love it when they do one. I like when they do like the 55 instead of the 60.
Mm.
I like it when they do the 600 yard or the
Oh, no,
500
no.
yard.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
When we start doing the yard records, especially like Big
Yeah.
12 actually has a championship for I think the 600 yards. They don't do
Yeah,
600
why?
meters; they do 600 yards. I don't know, tradition, man,
Okay,
tradition, right? So
gotcha.
I love it when we get these really weird ones that involve yards, like the Harvard track is a 200 yard
Mhm.
track. It's not even a 200 meter track. So anytime,
Did not.
so when I believe I could be wrong, but I believe when Ivy League is hosted at Harvard for like championships, they may change
Yeah,
like all the races to like 4 by like 440 meters,
440
like
yards.
or
Yeah, okay.
440 yards. They do that. So I think it's kind of always
Good
interesting.
picks. I do recall seeing a lot of 300-yard or 500 yards because when you have the distance that's different, because you're not doing 400, you're doing 300, and then you add on top of it yards instead of meters. If we want to go really strange, you could start talking about the straight 150s on the street meets, but I don't think anybody's ever like enjoyed a straight 150. No one's ever said that's one of my most memorable moments in track and field is the time someone ran a straight 150. I remember one of the first meets I covered for Flow like a long time ago before I was full time. It was at the BU track, and they had heats and heats and heats of the 1,000 and the 500. And before that, got to be honest, Gordon, because I grew up on the West Coast, we didn't really have indoor track. I didn't know that it was a thing. And there were so many 500s. I could not believe how many 500s there were. And there were so many thousands. And I thought, why can't they just run the 400 and the 800? But then you realize, oh, they do that as well too. Just do every event possible.
Every event. I mean, the off
Nuts.
event is designed so when you do well in it, it's great. When you do bad in it, you say, "Well, this isn't my event." It gives you
Yeah.
an out either
Yes.
way.
Yes.
Oh, this
The
isn't my
600
main
is
event. Well, of course it's not.
the 600 though is interesting because they say like the 800 right is where it crosses over from anaerobic to aerobic. So 600 gets closer to that line. Um, oh, Travis pulled up a video 4 by 300 in an underground parking garage. Now, you have me with anything in an underground parking garage, I'm going to watch because it just looks way faster, way more epic. And you're running as if the future of the free world is at stake and you have all the data on your flash drive. and you're in a movie with Tom Cruise. So this is where did you find this? How old is this? 20 This is
It's not
2021.
old, man. Pandemic
Okay.
running, man. This is
Oh, that's
pandemic.
right. Okay. This is amazing. If you're not watching, pause the podcast and type in 4 by 300 in underground parking garage. I think I've fallen in love with this event. This has got to be horrible for their knees. Like, what, just the
I
hardest
want to see
concrete
someone
ever.
fall.
There's a guy running in pants now. This is amazing. Like, this is an amazing parking garage because you literally can see the outside, like the kiosk where they're going to put their tickets in to pay. First 20
We
minutes
need
are
to
free
see.
though. So
We need to get Olympians in this race. That's what we need. Olympian 4x300 parking garage invitational. That's what I want to see.
I want to know why this is not why this is not a more common event. Yeah, so as I was saying, 600, you get more people in there of like, man, this actually could be their event. They would be really good in the
Yeah,
600. Someone like an Emmanuel Career, your favorite
yeah.
runner in history. You think, oh man,
He's
600.
notorious for the person that I said was going to be great way too early, and then
Hmm.
it was so early I got off of it, and then now he's an Olympic champion.
Hmm. Yeah, you should have stayed
Anyway,
on.
I should have
Should
stayed
have
on
stayed
that
on.
one.
Tampa Eagle, who's a member of Gordon's team, which remember when you sign up, you can sign up for Gordon's team or Kevin's team. Sign up for
Or
either
neither
one,
team.
but or neither. Yeah, there's a third tier where you're not associated with anybody because you're a free thinker. Uh, Tampa Eagle says a thing Mo 600. Yeah, obviously a thing Mo 600 would be amazing. The thing is she's good at both already. What I'm looking for is someone who's like not quite there in either one, and then you split the distance and they're amazing. Um, Now Travis is pulling up an indoor 4x2 on a flat track
Oh,
where a lot of people
that's
fell,
just
and that one dude fell 3 times on his own. That was incredible. Oh,
that's just
man.
asking
And
for a twisted ankle. Oh my god,
yeah.
body's not supposed to do that.
I like the 4x2 though, in general. If we could choose that as an obscure event, I would. I think it's actually more fun than the 4x1 because it has less to do with handoffs. But that's another story for another day. Let's move on to cross country